with some more Thirsty Thursday info. I am the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, lightworker, starseed, earth angel, mystic, medium, psychic, witch, yogi, guru, evangelist, North American Sybil. I am your messenger of God, the Lilith reincarnated. Hey, how are you? Every time I say that, I think about stupid ass Mike. Why do you say that? Anyways, going on. I heard something in the universe. Well, it was kind of funny. I posted something, and then I switched accounts, and I saw that I had lost a subscriber. And those are very monumental moments for me. That means I have pushed people past the brink of their understanding. And then afterwards, as I was scrolling, I heard this question. It's like, do you not have the mental capability to function in our world? Hold up here. Let's have a real good talk. Let's have a real good talk about all of this. In the sense of, they question my capabilities or, my mental capacity to be normal. The first thing I want to just start and end on this note. I'm doing pioneering work in a field of no study, with no expertise other than, the books of life, the Akashic records of everybody's fucking life is being poured into me as a guideline to how to create this, this vision in my head, right? So, in essence, yeah, as far as being normal and having a 9 to 5 and living a fucking shit-ass life and being on a fucking schedule and programmed to fucking the Matrix, I'm way past that, and that's where I have the difficulties. Your brain can't even fathom anything past the idea of the life that you live that you consider normal. And when exposed to somebody else's life that is very abnormal to yours, you have all of this disbelief and, poor judgment on how people live their life and your definition of normal. I love to ask this question, what shall I do with my life? If I gave it to you like I did to God, I completely surrender to you, and now I let you make all decisions for my life. What shall I do according to your perspective? And it's just an umbrella company kind of fucking situation that you guys just cast into the universe. It's like, why can't you get your shit together? How shall we do this? What does that look like to you? What are the steps? What am I, how should I live my life according to your direction and your purpose, right? It's kind of the situation. So I made a video earlier, and I do make these videos of how difficult it is to find a way in that is authentic to me and not converting into the old version of me trying to be like you. Only to turn around and hear people say, why can't you just be like us? That's so maddening. Like, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you right now, whoever the fuck said that. You better somebody do something. This is an opportunity to speak on it. You have no idea the difficulties it is, and that's what I explain in my videos, is the difficulties of going against the grain. I too know what this world expects of you. I am not oblivious to what the expectation is put upon all of us. And that's that programming of my own mind. Where did it come from? It's put upon all of us. And to go against that programming, you know what I mean? But still be in this world. Fucking gurus and yogis and, all these mystics and shit, they're put on a high tower. They're put in a fucking, a temple. They're put in a tent. They're put far away. You know what I mean? But no, God puts me right in the middle of everything. There are people like me, but they're hidden. They're very well hidden, dude. They're protected by their tribes and by their communities and by, you know what I mean? There's people like me, gifted people in essence like that. And they stay within, the high priestess realm. They don't come down they don't put the skin on. There's a difference, bro. Don't you see these people? They don't come down from their royal position and outreach. They wouldn't even know where to start. They'd start by throwing their book across the room, to be honest. Like, I'd be feeling like doing. It's like, you never said any of this when I got... In essence, there's nothing like me here. When people became like this, became spiritual, they went to spiritual communities. You know what I mean? And they spent the rest of their life doing missionary work and staying outside. You know what I mean? Like that movie, The Beach and shit. They went into utopias and they didn't come back, bro. They don't come back. Because of this. Because of the density. Because there's no... You know what I mean? It's ever crushing to the soul. Do you know what I mean? The expectations and the masks and the... You know what I mean? The whole system itself. I ask myself the same question sometimes about you guys, right? So, like, you have a job that you go and you do every day. I looked at a job yesterday. I thought it was cool as fuck until I saw the hours. And I even told the kids today, and we're like, that's crazy, but that's a normal human being's life. So yesterday I saw a job. It was at the Nature and Science Museum, right? I was going to be like the night person, right? What was I going to do? Cleaning. I like to clean. I was like, that's a perfect fucking job. It's $20 an hour. The hours from 3:30 till midnight. That's 8 hours. Okay, first off, is there really 8 hours of work to do in there? Possibly. Possibly. Right? So, but in essence, thinking about that, I told my kids that. I was like, you would never see me. We'd never see each other. 8 hours, and then I'd have to come home and sleep. And then the next day, how much time would we have with each other? And that's how everybody's life is constructed. And I'm trying to find ways to reconstruct this based on what God's saying is faith and trust. And it's working in the sense of my needs are being met, but I'm not established in that sense. But I'm trying to find out ways. I'm learning how, you know, what crushes, the system that crushes families and people. Because in essence, going back to it still, that's not enough. We sat down and we talked about housing, bro. That's not enough for maybe a 1-bedroom, but that gives us no provisions, nothing. A 40-hour work week, bro, and one income is not enough. Not in my city and probably not in yours, motherfuckers. Why? Because housing. It all comes down to housing. Monopoly, bro. The market, and that's what's so fucking simplistic about this bullshit, bro. You can't break the system fully, and that's when I have to go talk to this fucking president. They own the land. They really do. The government owns the land. We can build a fucking great ass fortress. We can build the fucking compound like Waco, bro. But truthfully, government's gonna come in on some bullshit. So anyways, going back to this, it's like we can't stop it. You can't reverse it. We have to create something new. What is crushing people? It's not that their jobs don't pay enough, because jobs can only pay so much. That's what's crushing owners of positions. The cost of living. What costs the most to live? Housing, fuckheads. Housing. Housing. Food is getting outrageous too. I can tell you from experience, I run out of food stamps every month. Everything's getting, you know what I mean? And that's where it is. It's like, how do we fix these problems? Not just mine. Like, a job isn't going to fix just my problem, bro. It won't. And even 2 incomes. And that's, fuck off, Bob. Confirmation. That's what he said. His biggest fear was like, you know how expensive it would be to raise your 4 kids and mine? First off, mine are fucking grown. You know what I mean? My daughter has a great job working at a fucking hospital. My son, he's a little slow, but he's trying to get a job. He's that guy, but he's trying. Give him a break. His sister takes care of him. Going back to it, but that's the simplistically. You're like, you're trapped, bro. Paycheck to paycheck, or the family goes homeless and hungry. So in essence, how can you judge me when, you know what I mean? I fucking gave into the system that, or you know what I mean? The system broke me like it probably broke everybody else. It didn't break me. I just gave into it to see what it was and to work through it and see what it comes down to. And that's what it really comes down to. And I was talking to the housing yesterday. It's like I can get on wait lists, which are low income housing, but you know, those can go out forever. What does that mean? That means they go off of your income, a percentage of your income. But you can, you know what I mean? Those have limitations and shit like that. But still, that's like, again, the lottery. And that doesn't help mass majorities. You know what I mean? And so, not me being homeless does either. But it's simplistic. It's like, I don't really have a full way out of this. And most people don't. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, how did I do it? I hustled harder than fuck. I manipulated the hourly wage by using, you know, my own vehicle and using Lyft. You know what I mean? I was making like $200 a night and $200 to $300 a night and still had time to, you know, be a family and all of that other stuff. So I was making great money. Like, you know, I used to tell people like stripper fucking money without doing anything. I was just doing what I loved. But then when I tried to go back and do it, I didn't love it. And I didn't have my own vehicle. There was other different things. And it just was, you know, I had to, you know, you don't go back. I thought I could. Thought I could recreate what I had done before because I had done it before. But it's not going to be recreated that way because I'm not just thinking about me this time. And that's something I just posted right now is my idea of wealth is like independence, bro. Independence Day. I'm trying to figure this out, bro, all by my lonesome. All by myself. I'm really trying to solve the world's problems, bro. The world's got serious problems. And, you know what I mean? I'm literally spending all my energy, you know, with God trying to figure this all out. Like, how are we going to change them? First, we have to change their mindsets. You know what I mean? We have to, you know, change their mindsets. Change the direction in which their mind is taking them. And in essence, put it on Him and let Him provide for us, you know, the basics until we can figure this all out. And that's really what it is. He's taught me all of this. We've learned most of this. It's like, you know, what's next? I need the land. I need to, you know what I mean? That's it. It's like we tell people that's what it's supposed to be. There's a protocol to this. There's a whole blueprint to this. You know, we blow up the story only to bring in all that money and start building communities, to start, you know, spiritual rehabilitational communities where we can give them little tiny homes and we can work off of the land. I learned agriculture down in the South. So that we could be self-sufficient in that kind of direction. We're in a place of technology where we can go off of solar. We were learning all kinds of stuff where we don't have to fucking, you know what I mean? We can work for ourselves and our communities and build ourselves up better than working for the actual system that's crushing us. Is what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to break the system. I mean, in essence, the system's breaking itself. We have to have, you know, we're trying to build the future. It's just, it's not even, it's so obvious, guys, even down to people that were so secure. This is generational wealth. You know what I mean? People that had government jobs, they had generational wealth, bro. Like, seriously. They got out of college, they got this great job, and, you know, they've been making, like, you know, not six, but maybe, you know what I mean, good 5-figure incomes for a long time, and they put their children through college, and, you know, they have good generational wealth where they can afford to give their families the nicer things. Our president currently has came in and taken so many government jobs away from people. Taken all these people's generational wealth where they themselves are going to have to find a new way of life. You're looking at me like, get a job. Look at them. What are you going to tell them? They've done one job. They went to school. They invested their whole lives, their communities. These were their families. They've known nothing else but go into this fucking job all their lives. And now you're looking at them and me and everybody else talking about just get a job and get back to life. It's like, you don't understand. There's no life to go back to. I have to create a new life, and I'm very confused and I'm very lost and I'm not sure how this works, and I have a lot of built up feelings about it. And I know I can't go back to where I came from, and I have no idea where I'm going to go from here. Maybe it hasn't hit you yet. But this first wave, I caught the first wave. People have been catching these waves, bro. It's the circle of life as the wheel turns. As, you know what I mean? It literally turns and people fall off, bro. They fall the fuck off. Fall from grace, bro. And then they're down in the pits of hell and they have no training and no understanding. And it's you know what I mean? Like, fucking Azkaban, bro. Like, whole shit. We're very close to it. The desperation levels, you know what I mean? If there was a thermometer to this bitch, it's gonna blow. And it's because of the system. It's created that way. It's crushing human beings. They lost their incomes, bro. And even the fact is, you like will go apply for unemployment. He took those jobs too. Did you know he shut down childcare or child? You know what I mean? Child support. He shut down so many divisions of the fucking federal government. You're like, people are waiting on their taxes. Yeah, he took all their jobs, bro. He took a bunch of people's jobs so that right before tax season, he took all their jobs, bro. The federal workers. He's taken so many federal jobs. There's people all over, bro, that like towers by the hours, bro. They get phone calls. Watch the news, dude. They didn't even know till like the day before. Or they show up at work and it's a fucking wipeout. They made movies of shit like this, dude. They called it like the Depression and shit when markets would fall and all this crazy shit. It didn't go so well. And the best thing, you know, that's where it's like, where do we start? First, we start with their mindset. Don't let them get crushed by the idea that this is the end of their lives. We have to show them that there's life after death. That's where I come in. You know what I mean? Like, we can build off of this. We can build, just hold on, just hold on. And hold on to God and his promises. He promised that he'll take care of us. And as faithful servants, he does. And that's where I show you this shit. But in the essence, it's like, we'll figure this out, but it's not something we can figure out right away. And God needs to figure this out. You know, he's brought us to it. He'll bring us through it and he'll show us how to do it. But in the middle of, as it's happening, you can't expect people to fix, you know what I mean? Like, the tower is on fire. There's a half a plane hanging out. We're watching people fall. What do you want us to call? Who do we call? Who do we call? Our whole lives and our whole livelihood is falling in front of us, dude. What do we call? Who do we call for help? You're supposed to call someone, but so is theirs too. They're in that building too. Everybody's life is falling, you know what I mean? And those of us that isn't, the only reason we're rising is because we've climbed out of the ashes. And as we're climbing out, we're trying to grab people out with us, bro. That's the way. That's the Melchizedek order. That's the way. That's Jesus' way. But this is what's happening in the end days, bro. And it's not just like, fuck, bro. It's not just economical. You know what I mean? It's not just our country, bro. You know, they're literally blowing up people's lands. They're blowing up their animals. They're blowing up their farms. There's nobody can eat. There's no water. I just saw this morning that out of nowhere, Puerto Rico went down. There's no electricity. There was no something. They lost all of their resources too. Like lights out. Do you understand what electricity does for everyone? You know what I mean? That's no phones. That's no fucking... That's nothing, bro. That's no lights. That's no fucking stoves. That's no microwaves. That's no refrigerators, bro. That's nothing. It's you know, at this time we have to go back to the old teachings and how are we going to make it through. And somebody light a fucking candle, start a fire, and find a fucking animal. We're going to have to fucking build a fort and shit like this, dude. We're going to have to become very resourceful during these fucking times. It's the end of the world as we know it. God prepared me, and he prepared us, but, you know, like, how much? I mean, all he gave us was our knowing. What do we know? We made game shows, we made survival, and we made all of this shit, dude. We gotta go back to what we really know. And that's where it is. It's like feeding you that fucking apple, dude. Again. You know what I mean? Stop following is what it is. And, you know, to whoever's, you know, ego I broke, by Igor, go find your way to some other way. Mine is just, I'm just here to inspire you, dude. And to help you find your way back to God, and Him help you take you on your journey of the dark night of the soul and get you prepared for, the days that come. And that's what it is. If you don't have the right mentality, that's all about, Kobe. It's like, without the right mentality, bro, you're gonna fail at this. You're gonna tremble with fear and just everything else. If you ain't got your mind right, dude, desperation takes over, temptation, desire, lust, anger, greed, wrath, vengeance during these times, dude. It's dangerous. This is, so. But yeah, don't try to tell me what to do, and don't tell no one what to do when you're over there spending your whole life, looking at everyone else as to what you're going to do. If you know how to save someone's life, then save it. Don't judge it. Otherwise, keep your fucking thoughts to yourself, dude. Seriously. It's like, you don't even know, bro. You don't even know, bro. In the essence, no, I can't do what I did. And that's the problem, is like, you want to just go back to whatever it was. But when you know God and you've seen this and you've been paying attention, dude, it's like you can't go back. He's made sure of it. He destroyed it so you wouldn't go back, so that you would go forward. Into what? The motherfucking unknown, bro. It's in every book. It's in every book. He guides you through the unknown, bro. And I know you think you know where I should be going, but that's, wherever your knowing is, that's not where God is. Sorry, a little fire in there. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna have a meal and we're gonna go dig in Pandora's box and get some answers for you. I feel like Jesus in the Revelations times is really what we need to be talking about right now. It's like, maybe we should point out what time it is, what day it is, really though. Like, really though, it's probably time to talk about it. Tomorrow's Good Friday. I think we need to have a good talk. It's Friday then. Saturday, Sunday, what? Oh, that was totally authentic, right? And the essence is like, I don't have all the answers. I just know what he said to do, and I'm doing that, and that's the answer. But you ain't got the motherfucking answer, bro. The fuck. Anyways, going back to it. Don't let nobody tell you how to fucking live your fucking life, dude, unless it's God. And your brain might be wrong too, dude. I'm just saying that. You know what I mean? That's the battle of our knowing of right and wrong, bro. They told us what to do, and now we don't know what to do. Because we're just doing what they fucking told us to do. That is some programmed ass bullshit, bro. That is just like... And even doing it doesn't work. That's what I'm trying to say, bro. I'm right back where I started. Back in the saddle again. That's what it is. That's what drove me to madness before. I couldn't do it on my own. So I had to fucking overdo it, bro. Overdo it, dude. Multiple jobs. No personal life. No time for anything. No time for sleep. No time. I had to do whatever it took to build this fucking, this apartment that I couldn't fucking manage by myself, and pay all these bills and, keep up with, everybody, which was nobody, because they had fucking Section 8 and I didn't. Fucking assholes. In essence, just going back to it, it's like, nah, bro, I'm not... No, and no. It's not that I'm not capable. I'm capable of so much more, and I'm trying to discover how much more I can do with, just some faith and some, some trust and some, diligence and obedience to, God's calling on my life. As much as you'd like to see me in a Burger King hat, he wants to see me in a throne. And I'm working towards that. But at the same time, he had to drag me through the dirt before he could put me on the fucking highest throne, and that's what he's going to do to you too. So you better be ready for that, bro. You better be ready for that Burger King hat that you tried to place on me. And again, I wasn't ashamed of it at all. I worked at Walmart, bro. At Walmart, bro. Do you know how embarrassed I was to call Bobby and tell him I worked at Walmart? Oh, just wait. Later, you're going to tell him you live in your car. Oh, this just gets worse and worse. I have no fucking pride. Pride is the biggest sin. That's what God kills me with. Me and my pride be killing me softly. Not even, dude. It's like totally in the back. My chakras and shit. Anyways, no, I heard somebody say some bullshit like that, and that's some bullshit, and go fuck yourself. Literally. Bend over and stick whatever finger hurts the most straight up your butt. Well, whatever finger hurts the most. I don't know. Alright, I'm gonna clean myself off here, wash that off, and then we're gonna go pull some cards. Don't tell me what to do. I'm trying to figure out what to do, bro. And I'm not trying to do what's right for me. I'm trying to do what's right for everybody. Like, how? However God pleases. Laters. Fuck. They always want all the answers.